You have to learn when you're an entrepreneur. You really have to figure it out on your own.
Welcome to Built in Vegas, the podcast where we spotlight the stories, strategies, and resources behind the businesses that make Vegas thrive. Whether you're starting up or scaling up, you're in the right place. Brought to you by the Video Podcast Studio.
It's good for you to learn a little bit of every part of the business so that way you can lead better and you can understand, like, when something isn't going well and they're giving you some excuse, you understand enough about it to know if they're giving you a BS answer or if it's actually accurate.
Right, yeah.
And so, like, you want to know everything, and then as you grow, try to get out and just do the stuff that really moves the business forward.
I have a client right now, and I met with him. His trivia night's not doing good, and I went in there, and I'm like, okay, let me look to see marketing-wise, like maybe it's marketing. And really, it's him not knowing his business and sourcing everything out. Like, I'm like, you're paying too much for your website. Like, your website's not updated. Like, do you know how to update your own website? He's like, no, I have to pay this guy. And I'm like, okay, well, these specials aren't on your menu. So, like, this is your menu. So, like, he outsourced that. He has, like, 3 different people doing social media. And I'm like, why are you, like, we need a cut. You got to figure out how to do that. He's like, oh, it's too hard. I'm like,
Yeah, I think in the beginning it's good to learn all of it, but then, like, for us, my goal is get me out of everything as fast as possible.
yeah.
So that way I can focus on the parts that really drive the business forward.
That's how I was with my shave ice. Yeah, I didn't want to be at the window. I needed to hire that out so I can be in the back end.
Like, for me, like, I shouldn't really ever be switching. Like, it's just there's no point of having me back there.
Yeah.
And even most of the editing shouldn't be me. Really, my power in the business is relationships and the guidance.
Yeah.
So let me just be talking to people, hanging out with our clients. Like, we just had I do like a entrepreneur meetup. It's like kind of an invite only thing. Like, just some clients, some old clients, people I've met along the way that are doing things that I respect. And,
cool.
And like, those little meetups are like so valuable for not only the business, but for everybody that goes.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, my time needs to be spent literally just like meetings and meeting people and hanging out, because that's kind of where my power is.
Right, yeah.
Because I can help see where they're struggling and then give them some solutions to help, even if it includes not using us. I mean, we tell people all the time not to use us and put their money somewhere else because it'll be better.
Yeah. I tell that people that when they call me for entertainment, like, I'm like, this isn't, like, I have a client right now. I ended up switching to marketing, and I'm doing their marketing because I'm like, you're too small for what we are. You need to grow these nights first a little bit better, and then, but yeah, I've had to tell people no.
How did you get into entrepreneurship in the first place? Was it something like growing up you were just kind of always that way, or?
Yeah, so when I was 5 years old, I opened up a lemonade stand out front of my door. We had I lived in an incline in Tahoe, and we had a street that people would drive down to the beach. And I noticed, like, man, during the holidays, it was really trafficky. So I opened up a little lemonade stand. And the first year, I remember, man, I made some money. And so I was like, I really like this. So, like, every holiday, I would add pastries, or I would do this. And I was like 8 years old making like $300. And this was like in the 80s, okay? So, like, that's some good money and it was just, I really liked thinking about new businesses and how to do it. So throughout school, I thought I was just going to open up a clothing store, like a little boutique. And that, like, going through school, I was a clothing store, because I lived in a small little town. And then I moved to Reno because my dad didn't want me to, like, just live in a small town. He wanted me to, like, experience things. And so we moved to Reno, and then I was like, okay, I'm just going to go to college here and stay in Reno. And then I had a professor in college say, you're just going to live here your whole life? And I was like, is this bad? Like, okay. So then I drove to Vegas. So I, like, literally I had a truck, packed my truck. I knew nobody. I knew my dad was going to live in Vegas in, like, a week. So I was like, okay, I'll live with my dad. I just drove out here knowing nobody. Then my dad told me he wasn't moving out here. So I was like, oh, okay, I know nobody out here. But I went to school, met friends, and in college is where I met my ex-husband, who is my business partner. And he is the entertainer. And throughout college, I thought I was going to open a clothing store. And I was watching him try to book himself. He's a musician here in this town, in Darby O'Gill and the Little People. It's an Irish like drinking band. And he's in a few other bands that he creates, and he's been in this band since 25 years. And I heard him trying to book himself, and I was like, that is horrible. He goes, well, it's hard to tell people I'm good. Like, it's hard, to tell people that. And I was like, well, let me see if I can do it. And I knew nothing about music. I knew nothing about being an agent or anything like that. I just called a random bar, and I booked him. And I was like, this is easy. I could do this. And so I just started being his agent. And then one of the bars at Green Valley Ranch, it's not there anymore, called Fido Irish Pub, asked him to host trivia. And I didn't know what trivia was. I wasn't a trivia player. That's not my cup of tea or anything like that. I love business. I love marketing. I love helping small businesses. Like, that was what I really enjoyed. I liked business. And so I was like, what is trivia? So I went there and I watched it. I'm like, people come out every night for this? And he's like, yeah, it's like really popular in Ireland. And I was like, you just do it in Irish bars? And he's like, yeah, that's kind of what trivia is about. And so there was another Irish bar in town called McMullen's, and so he started hosting there. And then a few bars called him, and so I had him Monday through Thursday booked. And then another bar called, and I was like, he's booked. I don't know what to do. And so he's like, well, let's hire another host because we know other entertainers. And so it kind of developed organically. And we just kind of threw a name called Vegas Pub Quiz. And throughout college, I was working and kind of growing this for him so he could be an entertainer. Did not think it was going to end up being a business. And then I started calling this random restaurants and booking. Like, I would call a pizza place, and I would call places that served alcohol because I noticed when people played trivia, they drank. I'm like, okay, alcohol, trivia, perfect. And then we went to some coffee shops that worked out. And I'm like, oh, okay, you don't need alcohol. Okay, we got this. And then about 2015, we started this in 2006. 2015, we had a couple hosts and stuff like that. And they were asking us to do multiple nights. And I was like, oh, it's going to hurt your night. If you have a really strong Tuesday and then you add another Wednesday, it might saturate your Tuesday, and then people are going to split, and then you're going to have kind of mediocre nights. So we went to Utah, and we saw some bars there that were doing a game called Music Bingo. And it's basically like normal bingo, but instead of B6, we have song clips, 60-second song clips. Bless you. And I kind of was like, okay, I like this, but it's kind of boring. For me, it was boring. I have a very short attention span. If you can't entertain me, then I'm not going to, I need a little bit more. So we added Vegas to it. So we have regular bingo. You hear the song. It's on your card. You daub it. But if you get 5 in a row, you yell bingo, and you win a free drink or a $5 gift card or whatever the venue is. But if you want, you can gamble. And you can spin our magical wheel. And we have different games. We have cookie face. We have rock, paper, scissors. We have blackjack. Every host kind of has their different game. I have who can twerk the best. So then we get 2 people from the audience who can twerk, stuff like that. And then if you complete the minute to win it game, you win a bigger prize. Normally it's a pitcher of beer, a bigger gift card, something like that. But you don't have to. Some people do it, some people don't. We have one that's called Cookie Face, where you have a cookie right here and you have to get it to your mouth without using your hands. I am someone who would play the game and not gamble because I don't want to do Cookie Face in front of everybody. But that's kind of, other people love to do it. And it's a great game, and we've been doing that since 2015. So, and then because I, deal with these kind of entertainment, trivia, music, bingo, I have other businesses that I've kind of taken in under my belt. So if I talk to a venue, for example, Arizona Charlie's, we were doing trivia there, and they called me and they wanted music bingo. And I was like, I think karaoke would actually do a little better. And I know a really good karaoke company, and so I let them talk to them, and they've been there for the last 3 years. So cool. You kind of, by doing this, of course, I still book Darby O'Gill and the Little People, and now he has a new band called Darkest Holler and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just kind of organically how it started. Yeah. I still don't have a clothing store.
Yeah.
But I did have a shave ice business.
Yeah. I think that happens to a lot of entrepreneurs where it's we're kind of just going along our life, and all of a sudden it's oh, there's a need for it. With me, it was similar. I got into making videos through skateboarding. And so like just one day I was visiting my brother up in college, and his buddy was like, hey, look at this video I made. So he showed me his skate video, and I was like, what do you mean you made this? Like, that's not a real thing. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, dude, like, check this out. Here's a pirated copy of Adobe. And I was like, okay. So I took it home, just taught myself this pre-YouTube, just sat there and played with it. Started filming more than skateboarding because I just kind of liked it. And I got really good really fast.
Yeah.
And then got a job straight out of high school making like TV commercials, training videos for a company in town. And I was like, I can't pay to make videos. This is crazy. And then something happened in that work where they took me off of hourly and put me on like per project.
Okay.
To kind of prove a point to some people who worked there because I was really good and they were complaining about a bunch of stuff because I was 17 and they were like 40.
Yeah.
Right. And so they didn't like me. And I learned a lot about like the industry. And I was like, oh, so I can get paid X amount for one video. So I made way more money when they did that. And so I went on a church mission for 2 years in Brazil, came back, they were out of business. And I was like, well, I learned a lot from a friend of mine, Rhett, because that's what he did. He was like, he worked at this place as like a steady job, but he would get other clients and they just give him money to make videos. And I learned so much from him. I was like, I'll just do this. I'll just film and make money.
Yeah.
And I didn't ever think about like entrepreneurship. It was just like, oh, I can make money doing something I'm passionate about. And then kind of just snowballed, and I got better and better. And then
I think that's all entrepreneurship. So most people have a passion, and it just kind of snowballs into it. Like, I opened up a shave ice business. I liked Hawaiian shave ice. I didn't know anything about food, nothing. I knew I liked Hawaiian shave ice. And I knew that in Vegas at that time, there was nothing like it. And most of my venues that I was doing trivia at, they would have food trucks come up. And so at that time, it was 2 years before COVID. One of my locations was on the Strip. And I was like, hey, if I get a food truck, can I put it in your parking lot? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, perfect. So that's kind of how I opened up my food truck. And then COVID happened, and then I lost my contract. And then I became a mobile shave ice at that time. And that wasn't the plan.
yeah,
But as an entrepreneur, you have to adapt.
you have to adapt.
You have to see, oh, there's a space for that. I need to fill that space.
Yeah. And that was kind of like how I opened up the studio, was because
It's a great
like
idea.
I wanted to do it like 8-9 years ago because I saw the need. I saw the power that video podcasting specifically had. But I also know that businesses are so slow to adapt.
Yeah.
That I was like, I'm not going to like go make a place until I get clients asking me to film their podcast because I was doing videos for businesses when they were telling me that videos for businesses wouldn't do anything. You know, every conversation I had was like, why would I have a video for my business? That's stupid. I'm like, what do you mean? Like all these TV ads you see, like they spend all millions and millions of dollars, and you can get similar stuff, lower level quality, but still good quality for pennies. And it's going to do your business well. And so I had to educate so much along my journey.
Number one thing is most entrepreneurs that I meet do not spend money on marketing, which is the number one thing they need to spend money on. They don't understand that little video that you're going to create will last so long and see so many eyes that print marketing and other stuff can't be in front of.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
And it took 10 years before. And then people were like, oh, and I remember it's like basically as soon as Facebook and stuff came out, I was like, dude, like you need to be creating videos for these platforms. They're like, no, that's stupid. You know, like I remember I spoke to a bunch of realtors. This is probably 11, maybe 10 years ago. And I was like, hey, these are the type of videos you guys should be filming as realtors. Like literally pull out your phone, film the stuff. This isn't a pitch. I don't want you to hire me. I don't want to work with you guys. But this is what you should do.
And now look at all the influencers.
Well, and then they're all, no, like literally I had like 10 of them come to me like, you're stupid. Like you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
Videos social media can't help sell houses. Videos won't help us sell houses. And then it's funny because like I remember those people and now all they do is post videos. And I remember like it was like 3 or 4 years later, one of them in particular was like making videos like, if you're a realtor and you're not doing this, you're so dumb. And I was like,
See? Yep.
okay. And so for me, it was like I wanted to wait. And then once we had a few clients asking us, our production company, to film their podcast, I was like, let me create something that becomes a lot more affordable, because to hire my production company to film it's just not worth. I don't think for what the content is, you should spend a lot of money. So we wanted to create something more affordable that gave people the ability to have the high quality videos, but not have the bill of a production company. And so just waited till we had that and then decided to kind of pull the trigger and start building out a location.
Yeah, this is great. I used to work at a radio station, and it was a AM radio station that we did other marketing. And I told him, the owner, because the new owner came in, and I go, you need to do podcasting. You need to turn these little studios into exactly what you did here. And they didn't listen to me because I had no radio experience. I'm literally just someone who kind of fell into it again, fell into radio. And they didn't listen to me. And they're still chugging along trying to do AM radio. And you did exactly what I think is where the world's going.
Well, I think that happens to, I'd say people in general, but entrepreneurs get pretty stuck in their way a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
And they think that, especially when it's their baby, and I get that, it's hard for them to see the vision of adapting and changing. I've worked with a lot of businesses that I learned that early on in my journey of entrepreneurship, that I'm like, because I could see them, I'm like, I go into the business and like, we want this. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like, your clientele is this. Why would we do this? Well, this is what everybody does. And I want my place to be like this. And I'm like, but it's not. Like, why would you pursue clientele that aren't coming naturally? Why would you spend money trying to make your place seem like something that just naturally it isn't? Like, he wanted it to be like a young, hip, like, get these 19, 21-year-olds in here working out. But he had 70 and 80-year-olds as clients. And they actually hated all the crap he was changing. And I was like, so you're doing a disservice to your current clients. You wasted millions of dollars buying equipment that they don't want and they don't need. So you didn't need to buy these things because you're chasing some idea of what you aren't really. And so that's something I've always taken with me, is like, don't get too set in the path. And like opening up the studio, like I did have a vision of what we would be, but I was very open to like, let's spend the first year seeing what happens naturally. And then we'll just shift into that and become what these clientele really need us to become. Yeah. Because people are going to naturally come to you. And so like, we want to tailor to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think too many entrepreneurs just get stuck in that, like.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think that's when entrepreneurs fail, is because they're not willing to adapt. They're not willing to change what they've dreamed of their whole lives. And on a note, like during COVID, our company was Vegas Pub Quiz, and now it's Robot Brain, is because during COVID, we lost everything. Like every single one of our venues closed or closed down. It was really sad. And so I was like, okay, I could either be out of work right now and eating top ramen or figure something out. And we were doing some HOAs, and I was like, hey, do you still want to do events? I reached out to them, do you still want to do events? And they said, yeah, let's do events. And I said, okay, we're going to do virtual. And that's when Zoom happened, and we started doing virtual trivia and music bingo for the HOAs here. And I would say about 3 weeks in, I had no idea they even existed, but most HOAs have other branches in other states. And I was getting calls from Arizona. Hey, you're doing this HOA in Las Vegas. Can you do an event for us in Arizona, in Florida, in Arkansas, in New York? And I was like, okay. And so it was about 6 months of, I don't know what's going to happen. And then after that, we had a whole virtual company. But we were called Vegas Pub Quiz, so people thought it was Vegas themed. And so that's when we kind of rebranded to Robot Brain. We wanted to rebrand anyway. We never thought this was going to be a business. Like, it just kind of happened. So that's when Robot Brain existed, is we did all that during COVID. And then when we opened up here, a lot of those places, we still do virtual events now. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it was a whole side that I never even thought of.
What's like one maybe the biggest things you've learned along your entrepreneur journey that kind of stands out?
Keep the connections. Keep connections. You do not know, when you meet someone, you do not know if they will be useful later on in life. I keep people, I keep their phone number, I keep their business card. I always, like, if I follow them on social media, I try to make comments so they remember who I am and stuff like that. Because those connections later in life will always come back. For example, my trivia, I have 3 venues right now that we were in over 10 years ago. And I just kind of kept their connection. And one of them I ran into organically. Another one I called, and another one actually went to my own trivia and was like, oh, yeah, we should do this again. But always keep those connections, because that is, even when you don't think you need it. Like, I keep all my food connections. You never know. I mean, yeah, I sold my food business, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah. Well, that's something we focus heavily on in the studio, actually, is we focus on making connections, building relationships, not creating content.
Yeah.
So, like, we try to educate our clients, like, yes, you're in here to create content, right? Like, the content's valuable, but you're really trying to build relationships with people. Mm-hmm. And same thing, like, you just don't know. Like, our goal is to build community. So we're hosting meetup events. We have some, like, kind of invite-only events. Then we have women entrepreneur events, because we just want to be a hub of connections. Like, literally last night, we invited somebody to this event that we threw, small, like 10 people only. But we invited this one person who started using our studio because we have another client. And I was like, the two of you will do work together. Like, you guys are literally perfect for each other. And so we were able to make that introduction, and they talked for 2.5 hours. They were both pumped. They're like, dude, thank you so much, you know? And like, the more that we can help people make those connections, the better for us, right? Because now we're a resource outside of just the content game. Like it's weird for me because, like, people think of us as like a content studio, but I actually don't even think of the studio at all. Like, I don't think we create content at all.
Yeah.
We just build relationships.
Yeah.
And even like when it comes to like creating content, like, you should be focused on, like, how do I build relationships with the person on the other side of that phone screen who's watching this? How do I connect with them and make that connection so they remember me and they want to keep that connection with me? So I love that. What do you think's been like the hardest thing on your entrepreneurship journey?
Truthfully, being a woman in the industry I'm at. I am, number one, I don't drink. And so for me to go to a bar and talk to, like, in the beginning, before COVID, in the beginning, it was always, oh, come to the bar and have a beer with me. And I'm like, oh, no, let's meet up. I'll have a cocktail or something like that. But then they would meet me because I have a boy named Brady. And oh, you're a female. Yeah. What? Why are you making that reaction? And so it was hard. It was very hard in the beginning to, like, get people to take me seriously when they met me, and, like, this is my business. And they're like, and because it's a male dominant. Most bar owners before COVID were males, most. But it's different now. And now women are very dominant, and it's changing. And so I have noticed that the female bar owners are more open to listening and adapting and getting new ideas. I think male bar owners are old entrepreneurs. They're stuck in their ways. This is how it is. This made us successful for 20 years. Well, is it now? No. Okay. Well, maybe we should change it.
Yeah.
Exactly. What's been your favorite thing about entrepreneurship?
Seeing other businesses grow. Because all my businesses that I create, I want to create smiles. Okay, that's the whole job of mine. And so with my food truck business, it was a shave ice business. I wanted to create smiles. I wanted to create joy. And so if it could help another business do the same thing, yes. And my whole trivia company is about helping businesses make a profit. Yeah, we're here to make a profit as well. But I go to businesses that are failing. I go to businesses that if I walk in on a Friday at 5 and it's dead, I'm like, I think they need some trivia. I think they need me. They need me. So that's kind of what I go for.
What's been your least favorite part?
Networking. I hate this. This is horrible. No, I hate going to events. I hate talking to people. I am someone that is behind a computer. I can do a lot of stuff on a computer, booking, stuff like that, but I hate networking. So I think of things outside of my realm to help me network. For example, there was a foodie group here in town called Taste Buds, And they were all about reaching smaller content creators in the foodie world out here. And I'm on social media all the time for my business. So I saw they were doing a meetup. I'm like, okay, I'm not a foodie, but they all are networking. They might know restaurants because they eat. And so I went there. And it was the best decision I have made probably this year because I met a whole bunch of foodies. And then within a month, they were calling me going, hey, we just did a restaurant. They need trivia. I told them about your name, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, oh, great. Oh, Nacho Daddy, they need music bingo. Oh, okay, we're there. The third Thursday every month in Henderson, music bingo is now there. So, like, those are the things that I didn't think I was going to make those connections to get me gigs. I just was kind of trying to get out of my realm, and it worked perfectly.
Yeah, I don't like networking.
Yeah. It's horrible.
I talk about it all the time. That's why we actually started creating our own events because my problem with like most networking events is it's just people trying to sell you. And there's no real connection being made. There's no genuineness. Like it's like so transactional. And I'm like, dude, I don't have time for this. And then it's also a big room full of a lot of people and it's awkward if you don't know anybody. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I like, one, podcasting, because then like you go to a networking event to hopefully meet one or two people to get like an hour conversation with later. So I'm like, let's just bypass all of that
and talk to people. Yeah.
And we'll film it. We'll create content. There's value behind it for everybody. And then you get to meet people along the way. So I've enjoyed podcasting. I hate filming. Like I hate being in front of the camera.
Oh, yeah.
But I can do it this way because I forget that they're there and we just talk and hang out. And then we started doing our own events because I was like, I don't want to waste my time. Let me just curate what we want our experience to be and the stuff that I hate. Let's remove that from our events. And so, yeah, those have been fun. Like for us, it's not about making money off of the events. Most of our events we do free. Some of them are paid, but that's because they're getting content made too during the event. We do one called Connect and Create for Women Entrepreneurs. So you're really paying to come in and be interviewed by a professional host, get 5 minutes of video time plus shorts out of it. And that's where your ticket cost goes to, but then also changes who shows up in the room. And the other ones we get really selective, like the one last night. It's just like hand curated, and then we get really good conversation. And the guys who came out to the guys first time coming to my event, they're like, dude, I hate coming to events. I almost said no. I'm so glad I didn't. Like, this is so different. I was like, yeah, like we all hate events. That's why we do it like this.
Why? Here's a question for you. Why do you think people hate networking? Like, why do you think they know it's important? They know they need to do it. Why do you think everyone hates it?
I think it's the transactionality of it. There's too many people that go to them with the mindset of, I need to do sales tonight. There's not enough people going to go, I just want to find cool people doing stuff that maybe we can help each other.
Yeah.
And then once again, if you don't know anybody, it's awkward because all these places have these cliques. Like if you come to our Women Entrepreneur Night, there are no cliques. Like we keep it small on purpose because everybody gets to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And so like that's a comment we've heard multiple times. They're like, oh my gosh, like I literally met everybody tonight and it was amazing. Built all these friendships and now I'm getting lunch with so-and-so. I'm going to hang out with so-and-so later. I think that's the biggest reason why people don't like it. It's that you have those groups of people that kind of ruin it for the rest of the people. And then most of these events are sales pitches.
Yeah.
And so like you go to this event and it's supposed to be educational, but all it is a sales pitch. And you're like I'm just sick of sales pitches. Like even our meetups, it's funny. We did a meetup actually that I posted on TikTok because we're just barely starting to post to TikTok and it's going pretty well.
Do you like TikTok?
It's a little more time consuming because to me, it's more like you have to FaceTime and like hang out with people. Whereas Instagram, we hang out with people, but it's a little bit less like, it's a little more formal and like, let me post and like whatever. Whereas like, I feel like TikTok, I have to like give people interacting with me a lot more attention faster.
Yeah.
And so I don't like it on that sense. I don't like social media at all.
Right.
Like I hate Like my personal page, I barely post, and if I do, it's just literally just my kids.
Yeah, I don't post on my personal, but you have to you have to.
Yeah,
It's a connection, especially with the younger generation. You should hit all the generations, and that's
Yeah, and so TikTok's been cool though so far. Like I'm interviewing I think 5 people today. I had a lot of people reach out to me
Yeah.
for my post.
yeah. I had 2 hosts tag me. So the people who tagged me to found you was 2 trivia hosts, and then 2 people I met at the Taste Up.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, oh,
Yeah, and so we're interviewing people, meeting people from there. But I did a meetup, and we had 20-ish people, and half of them were probably from TikTok from a video I posted 2 days ago.
yeah.
And then I, curated kind of who we said yes to. And then there's also like I got so many messages. I'm like, I don't have time to read these and respond.
Do you see? So do you do Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok?
I don't really do Facebook. We're really just on Instagram. We probably should be on Facebook a little bit more, but we focus on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Because we're here for business owners, not content creators.
Then Facebook is where you need to be, because most working adults are on Facebook. That's what they are on. They use websites. That's what people who don't have websites, they use Facebook. So like a lot of my business connections are through Facebook, aren't through Instagram.
Yeah. So I posted my personal, but the business page we haven't done anything with. We'll live stream. So I do a lot of live streaming, and then we're going to be way more consistent on that actually.
So live streaming is, I've noticed in marketing, people love it. I don't know what it is. They like watching.
What I like about it is I like live streaming to Instagram specifically. When I live stream to Instagram, I do it different than if I'm live streaming to LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram at the same time. Because I'm just hanging out.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to be like, oh, here's a presentation. Let me have this planned conversation. Like I'm literally just chilling, and I'm like, oh, what's up, John? Like, hey, dude, any questions you guys have? Like, let's answer it. Like, I just hang out.
Yeah. And people love it.
And, I might only have 4 or 5 people in there, but they'll hang out with me for 45, 50 minutes asking questions. And it's, once again, like, we're so focused on building relationships. Like, all of our events, it's like building relationships. Like I was saying, the meetup, it was funny because we did like just kind of hanging out, and it was like, okay, this is like a podcasting 101, but it really is just Q&A. So let me just like, what do you guys want to know about content creation or marketing? That's what I've done for 20 years. I can answer almost anything. And they're like, what are your prices? I was like, this isn't a pitch. Like, I didn't come here to pitch you guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'll share it with you guys later, but like, this isn't like, there's no sales pitch here. Like, I don't care if you use our studio. Like, if you own a business, you should podcast because it's a really good networking tool. Right? You can make some connections to people that you can't make otherwise, or you can make it easier, right? Because you bypass the gatekeeper because everybody wants to come on, right? Because they get content out of it. And so it's a really good tool to meet people to then potentially grow the business. And it's just funny, though, because people are so conditioned to expect if I go to this event, they're going to pitch me at the end of it, rather than people come to mine. I spoke to the Women's Chamber, the Entrepreneur Club, and after I spoke for 40 minutes, they're like my time was up, I was getting off, and they're like, what do you do? And I was like, oh yeah, I own a podcast studio. We didn't talk about podcasting at all, because I just got up and I was like, what are you guys struggling with? Let's talk about entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I'll just answer the questions. And now I can do that because most of it always leads back to marketing, and then I can talk a little bit about podcasting, but I can answer their marketing questions. And then they asked me to come back and do a 3-hour Q&A, and so I came back and did that.
That's cool.
But like I don't like those pitches. I don't know why these events do it, because they make a lot of money, right? It's just I'm so focused on our studio being known as like not pushy, and like just like we're here to connect you to people, and that will help us over time.
Yeah, that's exactly. If somebody starts talking to me and the media, it's a sales pitch, I zone out. I lose the connection. I'm like, you're not going to get my business.
Well, it's like those people that show up at the networking event. You're talking to somebody like how we're talking right now. So someone pops in and is like, hey, I'm insurance here. Here's my card. And then they leave. Like,
yeah, well, let's throw that in the garbage.
Yeah, like that goes in this pocket where I throw everything away. And I feel bad for those people because I don't think they realize the harm they're doing for their business by not being focused on building relationships. And look, I was one of those people for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I wasn't transactional until I opened up the studio. Like I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm great at building relationships. And then I started doing this. I was like, realizing that every email of like, hey, how's the family to my old clients was more like, how's the family? Any projects for me?
Right,
you know,
yeah, you're
I'm like, oh,
okay.
I
Yeah.
was super transactional my entire career. And when I used to go to networking events, I was that one like, okay, I need to get a client tonight, right? Because I was also young. I needed the money. And I think as you grow in business, you become less desperate for the income, and then which only helps you make more money because the more confidence you are, the better the sales become because people see the confidence, they believe in you more.
Well, you don't really sell. Once you become confident, you're not really selling. You're just going, this is what you're getting, and this is value.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want this, then you can get the cheap version.
Yeah.
But you're going to come back to me.
I had a guy DM me on Instagram the other day. He hit me up. He's like, oh, hey, I want to check out the studio. I was like, cool. He's like, I want you to sell me though. Why is your studio better? And I was just like,
I hate when I.
no, I just told him, I was like, first off, we're not in the business of that. If you don't know you want to work with us, then we're not a right fit for you.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else. And I was like, secondly, I don't compare myself. I actually don't really look at what other studio owners are doing. I know they all look at me and they try to copy what I'm doing. But I don't really look at what they're doing because I don't care what other studios do. I care what my clients need and becoming the best version for them. And that's how I've always been. Like, I don't know what other video production companies do. I know what I do for my clients and I know what they need from me. Yeah. And so I just get really good at that and taking care of them. And then I don't care. Yeah. Like, I'm not, and I tell them, I was like, I'm not going to sit here and grovel to you. Like, you either want to come work with us or you don't, dude. You know, I don't think he liked my answer. I was very nice with my answer.
Right, yeah.
Sounds like I was meaner. But, I think that when you're younger in entrepreneurship and you have to make money and you're not making the money you need to make and you're stressed out all the time, that desperation shows. And then when people see the desperation or feel the desperation in your voice, the way you talk, your movements, there's this, thing that happens without even thinking about it, where it's like, well, like if you're not making sales, then maybe your business, you're not good at what you do. Maybe like there's this trust factor that goes away because you're desperate.
Yeah.
And as like a creative, I hate myself. I don't believe in myself. So I always appeared desperate because I was like, constantly like, nobody likes my work, right? Like, I'm not good enough. I'm, whatever, just some sad artist. And it took me a long time doing this. I think it took like 8 years to like finally have a point where it's like, I started standing my ground on prices. I was making a certain amount, so it was easier. And then that changed everything. Like I doubled that year because I was like way more confident about who we were and what we do. And then opening the studio, I kind of fell back into that, like, oh no, like I got all this cost. I'm like, oh, please, like
right.
I'll pay you to come in, And now we're getting to that point where, we have a steady book of business. It's, like still not where we want it to be. We still have our struggles. We're still growing. We're small, but we definitely have more confidence, and that allows us to also attract more confident people that are doing well in business, and we're building a cool community. It's fun.
Oh, yeah.
I just like the people that we get to meet and see come through here. Like it's really cool to hear everybody's stories and stuff.
I can imagine. I mean, because you get every industry. Like everybody needs to. I mean, I tell all my clients, you don't stop promoting, don't stop networking, don't stop getting your name out there, because the minute you do, people forget about you. They do. Yeah. They forget. So
you should just do like a cover version of "Don't Stop Believing."
Right.
Don't stop promoting.
Right? That would be good. That would be really good. That would be really
I don't know.
good.
That popped in my head right when you said that. I was like, Journey.
See, those are little things that you got to like do. And as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, I mean, you're everything. You're the marketing. You're the advertising. You're the bookend. You do, financials. You do ordering. You do everything. So it's like you got to learn everything.
Yeah. If there's one piece of advice that you would want to give to entrepreneurs that are maybe starting or just early on in their journey, what would that be?
No doesn't mean no. It just means no, not right now. I've been told no so many times. Did I give up? No. I followed back with that person months, years later, and eventually I get yeses. Like, you just have to be persistent. You have to know what you want. If you don't know what you want, your client doesn't know what they want. Yeah, and so I hear no, and I go, okay, they just don't know what they want, and I'll follow back up. or I'll get them in a different avenue. Maybe I'll show up at their venue one day and be eating food and go, oh, hey, I talked to you on the phone.
Yeah, maybe show up at their house with a few bricks.
Right. Well,
you show up the
Instagram, you
next
can now
day.
track your
I know,
followers.
that's so weird.
Creepy.
Yeah.
I saw it. It came up and I looked. I'm like, oh my gosh, you can see everybody.
Yeah, it's so crazy. It's so weird. I'm like, I don't want people to know where I am.
Yeah. Well, it's good for business because my robot brain, I had 4 events and it showed me at all those events.
Yeah.
So for someone looking for a trivia, when they popped it up, oh, they're at 4 places. So
Yeah.
For business, it was great, but for personal, I was like, that's creepy.
Yeah. I like it, I guess, if our clients, if people are stalking our clients and they're here,
Right? They're
then
like,
that's
oh,
cool.
they're at the studio.
But for my personal page, I
Yeah.
don't want people to know where I am or whatever. No, it's funny. So where can people find out more information about you, your business, and reach out?
You can go to robotbrain.org. That's our website. We're on Facebook and Instagram. We don't have a TikTok. I'm personally on TikTok saving money. So if you like to save money, Brady Bunch Vegas. I do mostly Vegas deals and stuff like that. But yeah, robotbrain.org. We do trivia, music bingo. If you are also an entertainer or anything like that and you can't book yourself, reach out to me and I can help you. I have those connections.
Welcome to Built in Vegas, the podcast where we spotlight the stories, strategies, and resources behind the businesses that make Vegas thrive. Whether you're starting up or scaling up, you're in the right place. Brought to you by the Video Podcast Studio.